officer of health does.
Masking your children is child abuse. Just say no. No mask, no vax, no passport. They're lying to you.
CV19news.ca.
Let your kids
you do not have access to
breath
information
air, not restrict them.
That is a total lie and cop-out.
They need oxygen for
I'm
their
going to read something that's a
breathing.
little more weird.
Don't
I was in the Canadian Army for 6 years in the infantry reserves.
Okay, here I am at what I think might be my fourth or fifth one of these. I came down to one with Dave Naylor last winter, a couple last winter, some in the spring. It's the same people, it's a small crowd, and they tend to be, and to be blunt about it, a lot of very extreme people. Not necessarily dangerous, but they got some views that are out there. Jason Kenny just announced today in the provincial government the mask mandates are coming back. They're bringing in some restrictions on liquor sales, going to bars, some other things. I think they were talking about public servants going back to work. Well, the infections are going up. I understand. There's a lot of people here who don't even believe that the COVID exists or things like that. Well, from my perspective, it does. And the infections are going high, and he felt he had to do something. The pressure was on. We're outside of City Hall. But what we're not seeing is broad public opposition to this. As much as people might be saying they're getting upset, and some people are certainly getting upset, these protests are still a handful of some pretty wild people. I was watching them out on the road. Some of them were yelling at people in cars because they were wearing masks. They were calling them communists and assholes. I can't see that exactly broadening the support or bringing out the common public against this. And that's the only thing that's going to make things change, is if we actually see common members of the public coming out and saying, look, I've had enough of this. We want to back off on things. It's time to focus on individual rights while letting this run its course. But in looking at this, this isn't what's going to bring them out. This is not rational discourse. We got Kevin J. Johnston. They let him out of jail long enough to be able to come out and add to his campaign for mayor out here. We've got people with signs about how Jesus is coming and, we got to repent before the apocalypse, and pretty much other people with their other pet causes. But we're just not seeing a rational pushback or groundswell against government control. And I am concerned about it. I really am. I worry about how some leaders are looking at the pandemic as an opportunity for change. I mean, they're realizing that the public will allow Section 1 of the Charter to be utilized and have our individuals' rights suspended in the name of a health emergency. We've heard language of the government talking about guns being a health emergency, climate change being a health emergency. They're going to learn from this and use it to infringe on our rights in other areas. But when I look behind me and I see this is the depth, this is the base, this is what we've got for opposition against it, are we really that surprised that the government's not afraid to push further with restrictions, with stepping on individual rights? We can't be surprised anymore. We'll watch this for a little while, but I'm not seeing common folks coming out. I'm not seeing a groundswell against the mask mandates and vaccinations and things such as that. Though there was a person who assured me we are going to turn into lizard people soon because of the vaccination. I am watching for scales or a third nipple or any other consequences, but I did get my vaccines. I'm not looking forward to getting a booster every 6 months. It's getting crazy with how far they push it, but I'm not in that vaccination fear crowd. But there's plenty of them here. If you want some really actually interesting discourse and a good study into human mentality, there are some very colorful folks to speak with at this. We'll keep watching and see if anything more of interest comes about.
There are guys I know in my Army unit right now who know this is all a fraud. Okay? They know it through and through since day one. They're not telling their buddies, and my buddies are going and getting jabbed, and they're just posting their records on the internet, which is kind of probably some good info for China to have for later, which is a serious security breach. But this is coming right from the command. Where is this guy getting his info from?